Not only the saintly sons like Sanaka, Sanatana, Sananda, and Narada, but also demoniac offspring like Nirti, Adharma, Dambha, and falsity. Everything was created by Brahma in the beginning. Regarding Narada, it is understood that because his previous life was very pious and his association very good, he was born as Narada. Others were also born in their own capacities, according to their backgrounds. The law of karma continues birth after birth, and when there is a new creation, the same karma comes back with the living entities. They are born in different capacities according to karma, even though their father is originally Brahma, who is the exalted qualitative incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadadi Supadandigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Pam Sajivam Sadhuidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Yaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Lokanath Swami Dramine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining this very auspicious morning Bhagavatam section. Today is also extremely auspicious because of the Ekadashi. This Ekadashi is known as Pashankuja Ekadashi, or it says that Papankuja Ekadashi, or its meaning of it that one who observes this Ekadashi, one can eradicate all their sins, and such people never meet with Yamaraj. Let's mention that on this Ekadashi is a very special because of one who eradicate all their past sins, whatever the sins, whatever the degree of the sins they have, soul can be eradicated just by observing on this Ekadashi. Especially on this Ekadashi is mentioned that one should chant the holy name of the Lord. If one would chant the holy name and observe this Ekadashi, it says that he does not meet with Yamaraj. So it's very powerful. And we are here to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this section we came upon, this is the title as Dhruva Maharaj leaves home. This explains the continuation of the discussions between Sage Maitreya and Vidura. Sage Maitreya is taking the context of where Narada Devi is, advising Yudhishthira Maharaj. There Sukadeva Goswami is quoting all this. And here, when Maitreya discussing with Vidura, and after the Dakshayag, and then again further, Maitreya is detailing about the the descendants of the Brahma or the lineage of Brahma. The first words it was mentioned that when the Sanakas, four Kumaras, Chadush Kumaras, when they born, they just immediately left for their austerity and the penance. They didn't stay in family life, like Narada Dev. So Maitreya was mentioning that this is the descendants, this is the children or the lineage of Brahma. So, but there is nothing much to say because of they don't have any children, any further, generations. But on the other hand, there are the children of Brahma, the sons of Brahma, or the children. That's briefly mentioning here. Because of when we look at the creations of Brahma, there is the children of, there are demoniac as well as at the same time the divine, or those who are belongs to the dharma and adharma. So basically, this chapter is summarizing the difference between the dharma and the adharma. So in the section, in the few verses in the beginning, Sage Maitreya is explaining to Vidura that these are the children. And who are those children? So it is mentioned here. So in this translation, another son of Lord Brahma was irreligion. Irreligion means adharma, whose wife name was falsity, means ignorance or false and not true. And from their combination were born two demons named Dhamba means we have that we mostly use this word, then it's bluffing. He's overshowing, he's showing off. And another is cheating or Maya. So Maya, we heard that the name very, widely, that Maya means that which is not. So all these different religion or adharma, so this is all born out of adharma. And then two demons were taken by demon named Niriti, who had no children. So sometimes we heard that the directions of the southwest directions is actually controlled by the deity called Niriti. That's the direction. So we can see that it's all related and connected. So why Maitreya is referring here all this, and we can see that later verses, there is Krodha, the anger, there is the greed, there is harsh speech, there is death, there is Kali, then fear, and then the death. All this is eventually comes to that because of when there is a person who is in adharma, then one can go through all this. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely mentioning this in the purport. This understood here that adharma religion was also born of son of Brahma. So adharma. So this chapter is mainly is differentiating and giving the understanding of what is dharma and what is adharma. So there are only 4-5 verses mentioning about this different the sons of adharma. This adharma is also the son of Brahma. So everything is beginning from Brahma. All creations is in this world is started from Brahma. We know that Brahma, then the sons of Brahmas. Then all these different like age of Kali. Kali is also the son of the lineage of Brahma. You can see that when Parishit Maharaj, when at the beginning of this age, Kali, the Kali personality was present, and how the Kali is affected Parishit Maharaj, we could see that in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this chapter specifically and mainly referring the difference between this dharma and adharma. Then after that, then Maitreya started to speak about Dhruva Maharaj and the sons of the Swayambhu Manu and Uttanapad. And Uttanapad's son is actually the Dhruva Maharaj, the great grandson of Brahma. So this is the lineage which mentioned. So this entire chapter is focused on the dharma or the great qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. Now one can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can focus a little bit on this aspect of the dharma and the adharma. So how it leads to one to the attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the other side of adharma, one can goes to the hellish, one can go and suffer in this world, the fear and the death and the yatana, and the ultimate is all this, the adharma, one can lead to yatana, means incessant or severe pain is called yatana. So the hellish life is like a severe pain. So how one reaches to that? Because of his adharma. So as soon as see this adharma and the dharma is there in everybody's life. It is always there. It's been created, or the creation of the Brahma, it's always there. So but in the degree of that, how we overcome it in everybody's life, like Srila Prabhupada says that whenever there is a light, under the light there is a shadow. So it's there. So this shadow is always there. Like that, the adharma is always there, but it depends on that how we get it, or how what we are going to do with it. So in that context, the Yudhishthira Maharaj also asked the same thing to Narada Dev. In the seventh canto, 11th chapter, we can see that there is a beautiful discussions between Narada Dev and then Yudhishthira. In that section, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked the Narada Dev, so what is the religion? What is actually the religion? And what is the adharma and the dharma? Can you explain to me? So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked this question to Narada Dev. Then Narada Dev started to mention that the supreme being, the personality of Godhead, is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, the root of all religious principle. Dharmastu Sakshal Bhagavat Pranida. The dharma, if anything that which is devoid of the supreme personality of Godhead, is all comes under the adharma, or the irreligion. Adharma means irreligion, which is not accordance with the laws of the Supreme Lord. So this way, Narada Dev started to speak to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and what is adharma and what is dharma. So Narada Dev saying like this, there are 30 qualities of dharma, and every human being has to follow it. 30 qualities, and one who doesn't follow this one comes under the category of adharmic or adharma. So Narada says that there are general principles to be followed by all human beings. That's the 30, the religious principle Narada is saying to Yudhishthira Maharaj was, one is the truthfulness. He says every human being has to follow this. One is truthfulness, and one has to be very merciful to all the living entities. Then austerity, one has to observe fast on certain days. These are all comes under the category of the good or the dharma. Then Narada says that one should take shower or bath twice in a day. One should have tolerance, patience, and then one should have the knowledge of discrimination between right and wrong. So basically, this right and wrong, this is, that's us. Dhananda Maharaj always says that there is a good dog and a bad dog within us. Always there. The good dog and a bad dog. So it depends upon us that how do we feed them. If we feed them the good dog behaves very nicely. But on the other hand, if you feed the bad dog, is always barking, always biting, always aggregation, always kind of bewildered, always in fearful. So this is when you feed the bad dog, it's always in a bad situation. Similarly, this dharma and adharma is there, but how do we treat the religion or the religion? If you are trying to treat the religion dharma in our life, then it gives the good results. That's why Narada Dev is mentioning this Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to know this. So how we can feed this dharma in our heart? So unless just by sitting idle, it won't, because of that the idle mind is the devil's playground. That means if you are just sitting idle and do nothing, just this always the adharma comes up. That always we can see that how a person is, that what he does when it is in solitary place. That's what is the person's act. So this all comes up, it's there. So the main thing is that when we understand how to overcome this, then it is easy to follow. Then we can be always into this, the dharma, the stance of dharma. So like this, Narada was saying like this. So the control of the mind, the control of the senses, non-violence, celibacy, charity, readings of scripture, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements, observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society, remaining silent and grave and avoiding unnecessary talk, considering whether one is the body or the soul, distributing food equally to all living entities, both men and animals, seeing every soul, especially in the human form, as part of the Supreme Lord, hearing about the activities and instructions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of the saintly persons, chanting about the activities and instructions, always remembering these activities and instructions, trying to render service, performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, and surrendering one's whole self. O King Yudhishthira, these 30 qualifications must be acquired in the human form of life. Simply by acquiring this qualification, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, as is mentioned, that Dharmastu Sakshal Bhagavat Pranidam. So, Naradev is very nicely explaining these 30 qualities of Dharma or the religious principles. Everybody can check this. Am I following this? So, this will definitely protect us. So then the dharma is there, and then ultimately we also have paradharma. Paradharma is the supreme dharma. So savai pumsha paro dharma edur bhakti radokshati. Ultimately, all this dharma, the religious principles, which leads what has to leads to that the supreme dharma, paro dharma, is that one has to develop the love for the bhakti for the supreme personality of Godhead. Savai pumsha paro dharma edur bhakti radokshati. That's the ultimate dharma, the paradharma. But unless and until we follow this swadharma, how can we come to that stage? If you are non-violent, if we are not merciful to the living entities, we are unkind, we are so arrogant, we are not understanding. So these are the knowledge. So these all can come out of the knowledge that which Supreme Lord is revealing. So through the association, through the hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, understanding all this, then we can slowly come to this our righteous path or the religious principle or the dharma. So unless one follows the dharma, one cannot live in this world peacefully. It's very true. So dharma is very, very key in everybody's life. So, but here, in the other hand, we can see that the opposite, entirely opposite of all this is called adharma. That's what it is, irreligion. So irreligion is as born out of the Brahma, as is mentioned that it is there in everybody's life. So it depends upon that what we follow, what we can take. How do we want to follow our life? Whether wants to live in a adharmic situation or a dharmic life that always are always in the unclean, always unkind to everybody, ahimsa, violence to everybody, and harsh speech, always greed, always lusty, always anger, krodha. So everything manifests in the person's life. It all depends upon how do we control our life. It's very important. So Srila Prabhupada gave us this very beautiful, beautiful life, beautiful organization, beautiful movement, which can see, otherwise we won't sit here in this morning and hearing this wonderful topic of this what is dharma and what is adharma. So one has to imbibe this in our life. And especially when Srila Prabhupada started this movement, and Srila Prabhupada put out some kinds of codes, some kinds of rules, some kinds of regulations, that in the four regulative principles. So this is why Srila Prabhupada, this is the four pillars of our dharma, four pillars of the dharma to follow this dharmic. Unless we follow the dharma, we cannot come to that, our param dharma or the supreme dharma. So Srila Prabhupada put these four regulative principles. One is actually no intoxication at all. So what happens when we have this intoxication? That's pollutes our mind, pollute our consciousness. When it's polluted, that's where the first this affect this adharma or this various elements. Thus, as the potency, as the sons of Brahma, various elements. Like it can easily affect our mind, right? The first thing it affects is our mind. So mind get polluted, then the consciousness get polluted. So no intoxication. That means we should not be addicted to any of these material afflictions, material addictions, like the drinking coffee or drinking, the smoking, and it's not really that. Nowadays, this addiction is so bad. In case of, like, if you look at the phone, right? I mean, people uses this phone for like hours and hours and hours, so much addicted, and if they don't see it something, which pleases their mind or senses, they're so, they are arrogant. They became so, bewildered, and they cannot live without, this kinds of addictions. So these are all the part of adharma. And then, unless, see, there are 30, the religious principles, dharma, they've explained. One is actually the studying. They always keep studying the religious or the scriptures, the one of it. Why? Because of then our consciousness get very much purified. Then it won't allow us to get into this, various adharmas. So we know that the Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur was saying and mentioning this one, and every day one should check their activities. And in the morning, one should beat his mind with the chapel, right? Every day morning, one should beat their mind, their consciousness with the chapel. Why? Because of the as soon as we get up, we have this habit of getting into this bad thoughts, getting into this our mind engaging in so many unwanted activities, and the thoughts leads to the activities. So we have to check every day morning. We have to check our consciousness, our mind, that where it is going. So immediately you should beat with a chapel. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that at the night, and the night you should beat your mind with broom. Broom, we know that it's a dirty thing, and we clean the places, all the dirty places. And it says that you should beat your mind with broom. Why? Because of all daytime we are accumulated so much of unwanted, unnecessary things, and all religion, all adharmic things, and everything you brought it into your mind. And then what happens? You don't get the sleep because you are so much anxious, so much polluted. So this is the way that every day, because of the influence of this adharma, because of the influence of this adharmic, we know that how this Kali influenced Parishit Maharaj. We know that Kali gave a place to stay. In 4 places, Kali said that, okay, so Parishit Maharaj said to Kali that you can leave. So one of the place was the where there is a gold, where there is a gambling, where there is liquor, and where there is illicit activities. These are the places Kali stays. Kali is actually, who is Kali? Kali is the great grandsons of this all adharma. So this is all related. There one clan is, this the same thing. So Kali then immediately got into the gold where the crown, the Parishit Maharaj, wearing the crown, and immediately Kali jumped into the crown. And then Kali was sitting there. And Kali influenced Parishit Maharaj. Even he was a great devotee of the Lord. Then think about our situations. Every moment that we are going through the places now, the age of Kali is so fallen down. Everywhere there is liquor shop, everywhere there is gambling, everywhere there is illicit activities, everywhere there is always the intoxications. Everywhere we can see that people are smoking left and right. Everywhere, every corner we can pass through. It can all influence us. But how we can overcome all this? Because of when we completely follow this dharma, the dharma, these religious principles, and thoughtful of it. So these addictions, so like this, that we can say that Srila Prabhupada put this way, that give us these rules and regulations to protect us, so that we can easily protect from all this, the afflictions of this adharma or the clans of adharmic. That's why one should take, twice a day, one should take a shower bath. Why? Because of this, all the impurities can affect us, our consciousness. So as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, beat your mind with the broom so that we can be free from it. So now we've beaten down all our bad thoughts, all adharma, our religion in our consciousness, so that we can have a peaceful mind, so that we can conscious of the Supreme Lord. It's mentioned that before you go to bed, one should read at least a scripture, at least some portion of the scripture, so that our consciousness is very much purified or pure, become pure. This way, our mind gets purified and clarified, get the clarity. So this way we have to train. Otherwise, what happens? All these clans of adharma, all the falsity, all this, all can affect us in our day-to-day life. That's why we should take shower or bath every day. So we should apply tilaka so that we are conscious of. And when we chant the mantras, like 12 places, we apply this tilaga and put all this. So this way, it gives us protection from all this adharma, or the forces or evil forces of this adharma. And then we always be conscious, as Srila Prabhupada put this, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Antarashtriya Krishna Avabodha Samadhi. Krishna Avabodha. Our consciousness must be Avabodha with Krishna. So this way we can be free from it. All these evil elements of this, this adharma. So this way we can always purify. This way we can always conscious of the Supreme Lord. As mentioned that the Paradharma, the supreme consciousness or supreme dharma must be to engage in the loving devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, we'll be completely dry. It's very difficult to overcome this Maya. See, we also heard this word, the Maya. Maya means what? Cheating. We are actually cheated by this material energy. We are actually cheated every moment by the material energy, the influence of material energy. So then we are dragged away. We are put down ourselves and this influence of all this, and we think that that is real, but actually Maya literally means that which is not real. So but we are influenced by all this, and we are our original identity, we are going away from our original identity, and we fall into this material pool, and again and again and again and again we suffer. That's called yatana. We come to that stages of yatana every moment. Why? Because of it all leads to this adharma or this religion or this away from the Supreme Lord. So thank you so much. With this note, I would end here. Um, if there are any questions or concerns or comments, you can post it into the Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So thank you so much again, dear devotees. Sundara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Back to you, Madhumati Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Madhumati Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Madhumati Prabhu, are you there? Seems like he's away. Okay. Thank you, dear devotees. If there are any comments, questions, concerns, please post it into the Bhagavata Sevaya or Bhagavata Sevaya group. So thank you all for again joining. Today is a very auspicious day of Ekadashi. So let's chant together. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Jai Narasimha,
Jai
Jai
Narasimha, Jai
Narasimha, Jai
Narasimha,
Jai
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 Narasimha.
Narasimha,
Narasimha.
Prahlad.
Praladesha Jaya
Jaya
Padma
Padma
Mukha
Mukha
Padma
Padma
Pranam.
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 Ugram Virya
Ugraveeram
Mahavishram.
Mahavishram Jalantam
Jalandham
Sarvatomukham
Sarvadokam. Narasimham Vishnam
Shilabhishana
Bhadram
Bhadram
Mukhyam
Mrityumrityum
Mukhyam.
Namamyaham.
भगवान की जय
Narasimha
प्रहलाद
Bhagwan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our obeisances to all the Asama Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpataru Bhayascha Kripa Sindhu
Siddhu
Patitanam
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Vaishnavas
Namah.
की जय
Krishna.
ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील
Jai.
प्रभुपाद की जय
Jai.
Mana time for tomorrow is 6:56 to 7:40 a.m. Today is fasting from grains and beans minimally and increasing our Krishna consciousness. It's Pasang Kusa Ekadasi. In the evening, anyway, we will have discussions on Bhagavatam and Bhakti Bhikshas and all. So the Ekadasi Kirtan will be part of the discussions on Zoom. Good. Anybody else has anything? Tomorrow evening, there's a special program from 5 to 8 by Devakirandan Prabhu from Juhu. So he'll be doing Ram Katha, especially around Dasera, Vijayadashmi. So from 5 to 8 p.m. in the evening at the temple. Okay. Shimesha Prabhu, any other announcements?
So that's it. Next week, the Karthik is starting on Monday, the October 6th, and we'll be having also program in the temple, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we'll be having the evening program at the temple, Sharad Purnima program. Yeah. Special Sat Purnima Darshan at the temple. So, and we'll have Kirtan and Damdaras to come and some Katha.
Yeah.
I think Devkan Prabhu is coming for that also. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah, Kartik Vrata, Urja Vrata is starting free from the Urdu Dal mainly, and focus more on the Kartik, especially the month of Kartik is mentioned that 1,000 times that one can attain derive the benefit of observing this Kartik. And also Kartik is in the name of Srimati Radharani, Katika. That's why Kartik is named Katika. So this is the month of Srimati Radharani. So one can get the blessings of Srimati Radharani during this month. Thank you.
And Sameshwar Prabhu is right at the airport, about to go someplace. So he's right at the gate of the airport, it seems like, with all the chairs empty around. So
I
it's
see.
like
Okay.
empty airport.
Yeah, empty airport is. I'll change the background. So when I had a background of the Kusuma Sarovar, it's a beautiful one. So Janananda Goswami Maharaj was here, and I gave this laptop for Maharaj to speak. Maharaj said, remove this background.
Yeah, so you have to kind of give up something. I was sitting on that Kurma and for the yagya, and he said, complaining, okay, well, why do you want to sit on a wood?
Why you want to sit on the wood means?
That
Kurmasan, yeah, I understood, yeah.
it's made of wood.
So we are not supposed to sit on wood?
I said, Maharaj, this is fine.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how many rules and regulations I'm going to start abiding.
No, actually, we used to, in our, anything that which we should sit on a, little high platform of like a wooden is always there, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yes. Hari.
Hari, Jai.
Okay, thank you, Simeshwar Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Hare
Shubha
Krishna.
Ekadashi to everyone. Hari Bol.
Thank you. Hari Bol.